Just waiting on people to come on. Let's see what we get. See what we get tonight. Thank you. Shalom up. You in there?
Shalom.
Shalom.
What's going on?
Just trying to help some people get in. How did you get in via the text or the email?
Yeah, I just clicked on the link.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Let's see. Got Deep coming in.
Right.
Got Myron coming in. What's up, Deep? Shalom.
Shalom, man.
Shalom.
Shalom, guys.
Shalom. Shalom.
Myron, shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
How you doing?
How's everything? All right, and yourself?
Good, man. Good. Just
Shalom, man.
giving it some time for some time for some people to get on. But how y'all feeling today, man?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good. Can't complain.
Pretty good, man.
Good, good. Welcome to the shop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The shop where everybody needs a cut.
Right.
Well, I gave myself one a couple of days ago, so.
I might be come see you.
You said you gave yourself one?
Yeah, I gave myself one a couple of days ago.
Man, I'm too paranoid. I can cut my whole head, but when it comes to the shape up,
Yeah.
it's like Shaq at the free throw line.
Yeah, it gets kind of touch and go, but I think I got it though. Somebody complimented me on it, so I'm like, oh, okay, I did all right. Okay.
That's what's up. I'm trying to get our Nick on. He said he couldn't get on, so I'm sending him the email or forwarding him the email. I don't have his email address though, so I asked him to send it to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had a different meeting ID.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, man. I'm still trying to get used to it, so my apologies.
No, that's all good. They I know they changed a lot of the algorithms for Zoom because people were hacking into people's meetings.
Right. I heard they was kind of like photo bombing, right?
Yeah, photo bombing. They were sending all sorts of porn and all this other nonsense and during people's meetings. So, Zoom had to change up the algorithms.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
People don't have nothing to do, man. Nothing to do but disrupt other people's lives. That's all.
Let's see if I can get my other homie in here. Lord have mercy. Probably give it another 2-3 minutes, and then we'll get started, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, was it possible for you to forward that email to Nick? Do you have his email address?
Yeah. I mean, I already sent it to I sent it to our group message on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, I told him just to click on the link in there.
Right.
I'll go back to him and tell him to click on the link in there.
Okay. Sam, shalom. You gotta unmute yourself.
So,
John Button, 90, ACC, at hotmail.com. There go Nick right there. Hey, Sam, you able to hear me? Shalom, you on, Nick?
Yeah, I'm on now. I can hear you.
Bet.
Shalom.
What's going on, bro?
Good, man.
Shalom.
Trying to get my man Sam I am.
Trying to get him on.
Well, he on. He just got to unmute himself.
Oh, okay.
But I see him. Can y'all see him?
Yep.
I
Yeah.
see him.
All right, bet.
Yeah, I see him.
Cool.
I think he's trying to say he can't hear us.
He's trying to connect to audio now.
Right. I don't have nobody muted on my side. And y'all unmuted yourself. It's in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yep.
On the screen, it say connected. It's connected to audio.
It's connecting the audio. Mm-hmm.
That's what his say?
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
Yeah, Sam's is connecting. Okay, yeah. I wonder what's taking so long. Okay. I like it like that. Next it, where I can see him coming on. Nick, why you sideways?
I got my phone posted up on something. I got my laptop right here.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm about to ship you some V8.
He's got that side deal right now. He's got that side deal.
Boys in the days.
All right, fellas, I think we're going to go ahead on and get started. First and foremost, all praise to the Most High. And secondly, welcome to the Barbershop.
Sir.
So I take it for real. Everybody on this particular call, if you ain't family by blood, we family by the blood, right?
By blood, that's right. Come on.
Yeah. Deke, welcome. Lavanda, welcome. Myron, Nick, Sam, welcome. Appreciate y'all joining me tonight. There's a couple of other brothers that's probably going to be coming on a little late, whenever they can come on. But nevertheless, everybody for the most part is hip to what we've been trying to accomplish. But for those of you who it is your first time, I just wanted to say first that this is something that the Most High just put on my heart to do amongst our men, being as though, in this day and time that we living in, man, we got families, we got obligations, work, everything like that. And, with that being said, we can tend to give ourselves solely to all of that. But, it's important as men that we come together. That's also a commandment. That's also biblical, that we come together and that we talk and we rap, man, and we bring up situations and circumstances that we may be facing in our communities and us as leaders, and especially as Israelite men, put ourselves in a position not only to take care of ourselves and our family, but be a light in our community, so that we can continue to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel and be a light to the world. So last week we were talking about Myron. We were talking about primarily with these vaccines. We were talking about vaccines last week, and how there has been a concerted effort to through politics and economics put people in a position to really have to do some unrighteous things, such as allow the powers that be to put vaccines in our temples as well as our children. And it's a real critical subject for me because I am an elementary school teacher, and I see the effects of the vaccines on these children just every day. Learning, they can't even, either they can't sit still or they falling asleep. Spaced out, can't learn. But that's their situation. Those are their circumstances. And my thing is, what can we do? What are some tangible things that we could do? What are some ways that we can fortify ourselves so that we can go out and fortify others as well?
Yeah. I mean, well, myself, I've seen the effects of it as well with my grandson. When he was a baby, when he was infant, just regular kid doing regular kid things. You know what I mean? Normal. Not spaced out or anything. Just normal baby.
Right.
But then around about, I would say about 2, started seeing a change. And eyes, everything just changes. Eyes, just that spaced out look and things like that. And then my wife would ask my daughter, like, why is he not speaking or even trying to attempt to speak? She kind of, I think with her, she was kind of like in denial. But my wife was seeing it. My wife is a nurse, so she's seen a lot of things, and she's looking at it, and lo and behold, it just got to the point where he just wasn't speaking at all, and they labeled him, of course, with autism, things like that, or whatever. So, and we know about a couple of other folks as well, but we've seen firsthand,
right,
the effects of what's going on, and it's horrible. It's horrible, but we live in this wicked world, and now they're trying to, and I know now they're trying to stop the I know there's something that where we can say that we don't want vaccines based on religious observance and things like that, whatever. Now they're trying to actually alleviate that. They're trying to get rid of that.
right.
That whole marker. So again, I'm glad for talks like this, to see what it is we can do and stand and keep ourselves from this wickedness.
Absolutely, man. We had a good time last week, and hopefully as we move forward, we can really come up with some. I think as Israel, we need to roll and rock a certain way anyway, and my thing is, regardless of what assembly you are in, sometimes things may slightly differ in what's being taught, but nevertheless there's some fundamental grassroots things that we need to agree on, and that we should be able to, if something happens, we should all know when that situation goes down, we need to turn to the east. If something else happens, we need to know as a people, we need to turn to the west. You know what I mean? And it will go unspoken. You know what I mean? Because we've been proactive and prepared properly while we've had this time. How has this quarantine been for you, Myron? And then I'm gonna go to Sam. How's this quarantine been for you thus far?
I mean, for the most part, it's fairly quiet. The only thing, honestly, we contend with is just our boys kicking against the pricks. You know what I mean? Oh, we can't go to our friend's house. We can't do this. We can't. So look, none of us can go anywhere right now. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I do thank the Most High, man. We've been in constant prayer and fasting. I mean, you know, on Mondays we call it our prayer-a-thon. You know, from at 6 o'clock we have you know, we're in prayer. 6:30 we're in prayer for another hour, and then we get on with you guys. You know what I mean? And we're fasting and things like that. Whatever. So it has allowed us to you know, just be in constant prayer and fasting and just really focusing on the kingdom, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, you know, for us, that's what it's all about, bro.
I feel you, man. I know for me personally, this has turned out to be one of those divine interruptions, so to speak.
Yes,
things have really worked out.
Absolutely.
But let me move to my main man, Sam. Nick, you gonna have some tips ready for us tonight?
Oh no, I was gonna email you something. I didn't gather that or whatever. But I mean, I can still talk about some stuff.
Yeah, freestyle. You can freestyle. Yeah, we can freestyle this.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Sam, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm locked in now.
Okay, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. You've been able to hear so far though?
Well, yeah, I just got going. I you know, I had to do the thing on the phone where I had to allow, you know, all that stuff popping up.
No doubt, man.
I'm good now though.
How you been doing during this quarantine, man? What's life been like?
Man, just maintaining, man. For me, as far as like work, you know what I'm saying, I've been on off a week, but like work a week, off a week or whatever. But you know, little man been joining, but you know, spending time with the family, kind of getting these scripts, you know, strengthening the faith.
Right.
That's right.
You know, so all praise to the Most High, you know, for protection of, you know, myself, my family in Israel. I mean, that's all we can count on. Can't count on nothing else.
No doubt, man.
What they telling us out here.
No doubt about it, man. So before I really get into it, man, just let me hear from Deke, let me hear from Lavanda, man. What's been on your heart? What's been going on this week, man?
Well, for me, during this time, this quarantine, I find myself spending a lot of time, especially with my family, my close family, you know, especially the ones that's, you know, not particularly into truth or whatnot, trying to debunk the lies that's constantly told on a daily basis. Because you see what they're doing, they're fear mongering, and then you see people out in public and you know it's working. I seen a guy walking down, well, here in town we got Morgan Road with a mask on, and he was by himself. So, you know, exactly. You know, things like that. So it's, you know, I'm just constantly, you know, I just feel like I'm, you know, just spending time like, okay, they said this, but what are they really saying? Or look at it from this way. Just trying to get everybody around me to see that, because, you know, I don't know if you've all seen it, but most of us seen the video where the president just straight up said that this was artificially induced. So, you know, just trying to keep those that's close to me from fear.
Right.
Fearing, you know,
Absolutely.
fearing the boogeyman that ain't there, you know.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. That's right. But it definitely takes eyes to see, man. And like I said last week, man, sometimes, you know, common sense ain't always common.
Yeah.
No, it is not. It's not.
I know I was growing up, I was taught that, you know, being spiritually ignorant or being ignorant in Christ was kind of like a badge of honor in the sense that, you know, I was exercising my faith.
Exactly right. Crazy.
You know how I go. You know, you don't need to know everything, brother. You just need to know that he is.
That's it. That's all.
You know.
That's it. Exactly right.
But we in a time now where you know what I have noticed too. Even outside of, you know, the Israelite community, I've noticed that, man, black, white, green, yellow, blue, whoever you are, people are hip, man. They waking up. They can see exactly what's going on, man. They can see exactly what's going on, and I think the overall plan, you know, speaking like you said, Deke, about fear mongering, I think the overall plan or the outlook that they had on how things were supposed to look, they're not getting what they want.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why they're coming out with this. That's why they're coming out with this. You can have it and not show the symptoms. That's to get people who's telling people it's not, it's not what it is. So they'll throw that out there and then tell you you got it, and you spread it to everybody, knowing you never had it and neither
you never had in the first place. Right. And the thing is, I mean, it's just honestly, man, just trying to get people to just think a little bit. Like you hear these guys, they come on the TV, like this Dr. Fauci, whatever his name is. He comes on the TV and he says, "Oh, yeah, pretty much." And he comes on TV and he says, "Oh, the worst of it is coming later on this year in the fall." I'm like, wait a minute, man. How do you predict a virus, man?
Right.
Like, how do you predict when the virus is going to be, at its worst or at its peak, or how?
Right.
This comes out of nowhere, and now all of a sudden you predicting when it's going to be worse. And I'm like, so I'm trying to get people to just think a little bit. When was the last time you heard something like that?
And then we finding out that there's been a patent on this so-called coronavirus all the way since what, 2004?
You know what I'm saying?
2000, I think it was either 2004, 2006, but then it was another one in 2014. So it's been wild, man. But one of the things that bothered me about the whole thing was how when they actually admitted that regardless of the cause of death, they were told to put COVID on the death certificate.
Yeah.
They tried it out a sister to tell us that.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Did y'all see that?
Yeah, exactly right.
They put the black woman out there to deliver that news.
Exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly right.
But the thing about it is, man, my question is, have you guys been thinking specifically as to ways that we can move on from this, and what are we really learning from this about how people feel about us, and when I say people, I'm talking about the nations, how they really feel about us, and what are some tangible ways that we can turn, man, we can move forward. We can make them feel the disconnect, because that's where we got to get to. They got to feel the disconnect, especially economically. What say you, Lavender?
Well, first of all, I want to say, Kevin, you're in the spirit, and I want you to remember this tomorrow night, the statement that you just made about I was told to have ignorant faith. Okay, just remember that.
Okay.
When you see the title of the lesson tomorrow, remember that.
No doubt.
I got that about 4 hours ago. So just remember that. Okay. Right.
But this ain't nothing new, man. You know what I'm saying? You know how we vibe anyway.
Exactly. So just remember that statement. Everybody on here, remember the statement that he made about living by ignorant faith. Watch that. Remember that.
Yes, sir.
But
yes, sir.
Going back to the original premise and then bringing it up to where we are, how this has been affecting me. Absolutely no way, shape, form, or fashion, right? It's business as usual. But I'm kind of basically dealing with a mixture of what everyone else is saying. More so what Deke is talking about, dealing with your family members is not in the truth. But what I've learned and what has been made official is words is never going to do anything.
That's right.
You can talk people until they turn blue in the face. It doesn't make a difference because most of our people have been completely social engineered into believing what people say.
Right.
Outside of their own. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That Dr. Fauci got, he grew his acclaim from the HIV virus. He was essential in making the black man the face of HIV. and he was essential of getting the ACT virus, ACT pill out, which was killing off our community.
Mm-hmm.
They rolled this same guy back in the time for the next death blow during Jacob's trouble. And you got our people quoting Dr. Fauci more than they quoting the Bible now.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
See, you always got to do the bait. You got to watch the bait and switch, right? So, okay, nobody rocks with Trump, right? Nobody rocks with Trump. So what do? They bring an expert and they place him up there. So everything Trump says, he comes back now as a savior. Don't think that that's a coincidence, right? Because nobody's listening to Trump. Everybody knows that guy's an imbecile, right? Everybody understands, right? So when Trump goes and says something wild, they'll roll Dr. Fauci out, and he'll come in with this soft, sweet voice. Hey, everything's going to be okay. We got to just be patient. And like Myron said, the next thing is going to come in October. But let me tell you why they say that.
Mm-hmm.
2 reasons. I'll make this quick. If you look at this planned stage of reopening, notice this thing is coming in stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have a study that I looked up, which was done by Amalek, using words just because I don't want my man's Zoom thing to get shut down. But Amalek did a study on our people, which said that in America, 71% of all black people go to church. Guess how many people of Esau go to church?
Less than 10.
7%.
Man.
Now, check this out. So if 71% of our people go to church, guess what has been elected to be the last stage that happened during the last stage of the reopening? Church.
Right.
So who does that ultimately affect? Us.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not going to church.
Right.
So you telling me right now in stage 1 of the reopening next week, tattoo parlors is an essential, but the church isn't?
Right.
Vape shops.
Right.
So I can go to the vape shop, but I can't go praise Jesus?
Right.
Right? That's going to spread the virus. But me going there, I'm good.
Right.
But check this out. This is what people don't know. They should have peaked it when they rolled Jamal Bryant out a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
What did Jamal Bryant do?
He done set up the church.
Exactly.
Wow.
So what's going on right now is Jamal Bryant done opened up and said, listen, they're not taking care of us. So we got to take care of ourselves. Come down to the church and we'll test you. But what they're not telling you is, in these new tests, they're already lacing it.
Yes.
So by the time we go back to church, guess what's going to happen?
Exactly right.
All of the major black churches will be the testing centers.
For the
virus.
That's crazy. And then I heard on top of that, bro, that's a good point that you bringing up. I heard on top of that, these pastors are getting some sort of kickback.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, in the next stimulus that just got approved, if you make your church a testing center, you get stimulus. Because nobody's at church paying tithes and doing offerings anymore. These guys are about to lose their churches. So guess what? We'll give you thousands of dollars if you make your church a center for the testing. So once the testing comes, you know what's coming in January, right? The vaccine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what ultimately with all of that being said, man, I know us on this call, as I reflect, it's just amazing, how the Most High has kept us, because it could be the other way, y'all.
Easy.
It could be the other way. I mean, like right now we got, we've been praying for people's households, in the sense that there's been, the domestic abuse rate has increased. In addition to the fact that, reports of molestation has increased. I know, like I said, being a teacher, man, coming to school every day was like a safe haven the perfect getaway for a lot of these children.
Right.
And so, you know, now during this quarantine, while all of these people are up at the top fussing and bickering and fighting basically over money, you know what I'm saying, and over territory that don't even belong to them. If you notice, everything they do somehow, some way, always negatively impacts the poor people.
Every time.
Or as they would say, the goyim.
The goyim. That's right.
You feel me?
That's right.
So Shalom, Terry. So, you know, with that being said, man, it's like, you know, while our homes are, you know, at peace during this quarantine, there are a lot of people's homes that is in an uproar. Like, you know, I mean, look at it like this. Think about all of the affairs that people had with people on their job.
Right.
And now they can't, now during this quarantine, they ain't been able to see their lovers. You know what I'm saying? They ain't been able to see the people they've been cheating on their wives and husbands with. So they irritated, they frustrated, you know, with the person that they supposed to be with. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot going on, man. You know what I'm saying? In people's homes that, you know, where we, you know, all praise to the Most High. We have some peaceful households, to say the least. And so, you know, my heart really goes out to, you know, those children and those relationships that have been toxic. And during this time of quarantine, these people, you know, have essentially been sleeping with the enemy, and they've been with their enemies. You know, I mean, and that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know we Israel, and we know that we have an outside enemy to contend with. You know, but there are enemies right here within us, man, in our households. You know, sometimes our father, our mother, you know, our uncle, our cousin can be our enemy because of the wickedness that has accrued over such a long period of time, man.
You know, man, I never really even, I'm gonna tell you right now, you hit me like a ton of bricks right now, because it's funny that I never really considered all of that. I seen one of my kids today, one of my former students today down at the bank, and he was in the car next door to me, and next to the car next to me, he came over running, Mr. Ingram, man, this and that, this and that. And I was like, yo, man, you need to just come see me. He was like, man, I got kids, man, it ain't that simple right now. And now what you're saying with this, I know that's not a coincidence that we have this conversation. Because I think that sometimes we, like you said, with the powers that be, are looking up and fighting up there. And we, as men of the Most High, are looking up and fighting in the spiritual places. But we're not focused on the ones that's on the ground. We're not focused on the ones that's on the front line. We're not thinking about those ones that's in the trenches. And I think we need to do a distinct effort to redirect some of this attention and resources and because when we was in the church, we all had a youth ministry when we was in the church.
Right.
Israel is lacking in the youth departments. We got to do better with that. And that's something we really need to discuss in the future. We got to do that.
Yeah, that's something we definitely have to pick up on. I'm trying to tell you, man, I'm that type of guy, man. We can all hop in the car and go to a neighborhood and just pop up in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Even if we come bearing some sort of, you know, gifts for the children, just to bring them out, man, and really, you know, while we on the ground, man, you ain't always got to attack things head on with your mouth. But I mean, just us knowing that everywhere we go, we possess the power of the Most High, and we carry His presence. Sometimes, man, just boots on the ground and walking through a neighborhood, you know, will drive out unclean spirits. I mean, like that's where we need. That's really where we need to be getting to. You know, at this point, is really allowing the spirit that we carry, you know, as men of the Most High to work on our behalf.
All right.
So I'm looking for tangible ways, man, to
touch
on so many things, man.
Do like a spiritual drive-by.
I'm telling you.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
telling
Like,
you, bro.
just jump out 50 deep, coming through. You know what I'm saying? Care packages, you know what I'm saying? Snow cones, you know, all kind of stuff. Just bumping through, just whatever.
Yeah.
Straight spiritual drive-bys. Just like they used to do in the hood. How many times we been in the hood and it been a drive-by? I've seen countless ones. But we can go do spiritual drive-bys. Just jump out. Like, what up?
Yep. Like the ice cream man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, even if we got to play the music, we can do that. You know what I'm saying? But
I think,
I'm about to bring my brother Terry in. Shalom, Terry.
Shalom, everyone.
Yeah, man.
Shalom.
When you came in, we was just finishing up or kind of talking about how blessed we are, you know, within our own households to have such peace, you know, in the midst of this storm that's going on outside, you know. But a lot of our children and a lot of our women and men, you know, the storm is where they sleep. You know, and you got the molestation going on, you got the domestic abuse popping off, and people are not happy with each other, and you know, in some ways, you know, right now this is the worst place they can be is home.
Home
during this time, you know. So I know, you know, specifically you wanted to share a few things with us. So I'm gonna let you go ahead on and get into that. But just say what's up, everybody.
What's up? I apologize for being late. I had some things I had to square away first, but I'm glad to be here. Glad to be back with you guys again. Yeah, if I may, I want to speak on that matter just a few seconds. Just the very thought pattern behind that is that, you know, if we look at it, we're all at different stages in growth, right? So even with those situations where they are, hopefully somewhere in there, they're growing right now with this time period. You know, hopefully all is well with them. Hopefully, you know, if not, then, you know, one thing that we can definitely do is pray for them, definitely send out and intercede for those families that are dealing with those situations, going through those situations and having to bear those kind of weights, you know, because like I said, it's little ones, it's big ones, it's everybody who's dealing with it, everybody who's going through. And I like to think about it like this. We all got a story. We all got something going on. We all done been through something. So that's where we are able to come through and have some understanding.
Right.
You know what I mean? Be empathetic and sympathetic.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And then even with that being said, ultimately, what are we fulfilling in doing so? Hopefully we're going towards what God would want us to do, which is to love.
No doubt about it, my brother.
So yeah, so that was just my piece in there. But I'm thankful, man. I'm grateful. It's been a most beautiful day. And last week, I know we touched on something. I don't know if anybody had a chance to dive in or do any kind of research towards the Saturday or the Sunday national law. Did anybody get to delve in there even just a little bit?
No, I didn't. I wish I would have. Yeah, I didn't.
But I studied that a few years ago.
Okay. Well, that's all right, because even from this point, what we'll be able to do is push forward. And you know, I'm going to honor the man. He said, "Don't preach, just share." So I'm just going to share. I don't need to preach. I love him. I love him so much, brother. Thank you so much. But seriously, because he knows how I am. That's why he's saying that. He knows that I'll go in. So I want to just. But what I want to do is just present what I have learned about the Sunday national law.
Bring it out. Come on.
So the Sunday national law is something that has been long brewing. It's been coming and coming and coming. It's just been years in the making. And so, you know, I think what's being exposed is that there was a plan a long time ago that was given for the people of God And that information allowed them to be able to see through prophecy that there was that Sunday national law was on its way. So they had a prophet tell them, and this was in news. You can look it up. When you do look it up, you'll find out that it goes back to the Seventh-day Adventists. Seventh-day Adventists was given this message back in 1844. There are certain events that transpired at that point that were indicated in the Bible. So now we see prophecy becoming reality. And so we know that the book is both prophecy, right? And what else is there? But help me out because I am missing the other part. There's prophecy in the Bible, and what else?
What do you mean?
So, so the Bible, Christ said he came in the volume of the book, right? So right. There were some parts to the Bible that were indicative. It was the prophecy side. So they prophesied of what to come, right? And then you had another part to it.
What already happened.
Say again?
What already had happened.
What had already happened, right? That's the prophecy, because it foretold what has happened and what is to happen.
Right.
That's what prophecy does.
Right.
So then, what was the other part?
Bring it out.
Okay, so it's the law.
Yeah.
So what did he say he didn't come to do away with?
The law.
But he came to fulfill it. So what was the purpose of the law? So these are things that we should go in and do some research on. As a matter of fact, some more studying, because it's important to know. When he said he came in the volume of the book, what was he saying? Well, the indicator that he is going to be on his way back, or he's on his way back, is the Sunday national law. Now, there is an in-between study that must be done so that we can see the reality of where that is. And there's a video that I'm going to share with Pastor, and I'm allow him, he can go through it, make sure that it's good food for you all to be able to digest. That's what a good shepherd would do. So as he looks through it up, he can look it through, make sure that it's according to the word of God. There is nothing added or taken away. And then he can share that. But the point of the Sunday national law in a nutshell is just that. Because there's some processes going on in the outer court, and then the holy place, and then the most holy place.
So is it fair to say that Sunday law has everything to do with a global takeover, right?
That is definitely part of the deal.
Right. So you got a global takeover, and you got people who are using the weapons of religion and government to overtake people's so-called rights, civil rights. You're right. The Bible spoke of it. It spoke about the past. It spoke about the present and the future concerning all of this. So with that being said, what do we do?
Okay.
What is something, and this is open to everybody. What do we do now? I'm gonna start with Lavanda. What do we do now?
So what we've been doing for the last 7-8 years. Keep law, statutes, commandments.
Keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Thank you. Because one of the most important laws within that is the Sabbath day.
Right.
And so there's been an attack on the Sabbath day for a very long time now.
Right.
Long time.
With the expectations, that God's people were going to begin to wake up and come back to those laws, statutes, and commandments. And so, the Sunday law, has everything to do with also trying to take away the Sabbath, which clearly lets you know what side they're on or who they're worshiping. Because right. if you're worshiping the God of the Bible, you know, then the Sabbath means everything to you.
Right.
You
if
know.
I may add, Pastor, we have to understand that all religions of the world stem from the Tower of Babel.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. So before the flood, right after the flood, when Nimrod took over, Sunday, because of the deal that he had made with Satan, was the day that he gave them a rest on that day. Mm-hmm. So the whole idea of people, you know, worshiping the sun and worshiping on their day of Sunday is not even didn't start with the Catholic Church. It's been what they've been doing since the Tower of Babel. And the Most High, when he separated the nations, that's when he brought his nation, Israel, back to the original Sabbath. When you go into Jasher, when you go into Enoch, when you go into Jubilees.
Jubilees, yeah.
Ever since Adam, it was always the Sabbath, all the way up to Noah, all the way up to Enoch, all the way up to Abraham. See, they was doing the Sabbath the whole entire time. It wasn't new until he reestablished it when he brought us out of Egypt. So the Sabbath has always been that sign between the Most High, and Sunday has always been that sign between the devil and his religions and his leaders. So one of the things that, you know, with Seventh-day Adventists, which they started around 1863 with Ella G. White and some other people, is that one of the things that they did pick up on was that Sunday service was not really something that God's people were doing. But one of the things that they didn't really apply to their, I guess you could say, denomination and doctrine was the actual Messiah, who the actual people were. So when they introduced and talked about the Sunday law, they brought out the fact that the Sabbath was there, but they didn't understand, basically differentiate between who was the people and who was supposed to be illustrating what was supposed to be done, and in what order, and in what, you know, I guess to say, the system of the Most High. So ultimately, if we come back and we look at the system and we say, okay, this system is the issue, they have a goal, they have an agenda, we can still be victims of that agenda if we don't narrow that thing all the way down.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think that's really ultimately what we must have to do. We know the plans of Satan, but we have to ask ourselves is, are we walking in the plan of the Most High?
Right.
And that's where we have to be really careful. You know.
Yeah, I appreciate that from both of y'all. I appreciate that insight. You know, because it's almost a setup, or it's almost kind of sort of a segue to you know, what we're experiencing even within this quarantine, and how we're not, you know, being able to gather, you know, and even thinking back, you know, concerning our fathers in the scripture, there was a time when they kind of had to move away from the mainstream, and they had to move away from like the main area, and go off to themselves in order to be able to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, because of the oppression that was in the land.
Right.
And so we're kind of sort of in the beginning stages of mirroring that shadow right here, right now. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, I think, you know, the Most High has given us intelligence right here, right now, to be able to really make some conscious decisions about, you know, where we are, what we're going to do, and what exactly does that look like. So for examples, amongst some of the leaders of some assemblies at this point, you know, I'm trying to put some tangible things in writing as it pertains to how we move forward now. You know, economically, how do we spend our money? Are we going to keep giving our money to the nations, or are we going to, you know, begin to shower each other with that love? You know what I mean? For example, I go all the way across town just to get my wife's medicine, you know, for her asthma medicine. I'll go all the way across town, you know, to my people and support them, and not necessarily give that money you know, to the very people that are part of the setup.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's power. And you got to figure, us being the biggest consumers, you know, we obviously have power in our hands, power in our pockets, power in our bank account, but we're still perishing from a lack of knowledge. So, you know, Pastor, one of the Pastor Kelly, he sent one of these pictures where, you know, our women, man, they were lined up outside of the nail shop the first day it opened. The first day. It was all of our women. You know what I mean? Now by that time the news had already hit the airwaves that we were being discriminated against in various parts of our cities, our country, this country, excuse me, as well as all over the world. And so, you know, to see, you know, that it was pretty disheartening. It was pretty disappointing because, you know, for us, this has been a time where we can really reflect and we're getting a game plan together. But, you know, to those people that don't have knowledge, you know, they got the fever, man. They just trying to get out and get out and do what they've been doing. And I think ultimately what we need to get as many people as we can to understand, first of all, by the way we model it, is things are never going to go back to the way they were. This is it as far as the way things used to be. You know what I'm saying? Any thoughts on that, Myron?
I've been saying the same thing. Actually, my wife and I were talking about it the other day with someone else. And they were asking us, "Do you think that everything's going to go back to the way it was?" I said, "No. I said the changes are starting now." You know what I mean? I said, you know, just like how the scriptures say, "Beginning of sorrows." You know, we've been in the beginning of sorrows for a minute.
Right.
You know, but you know, it's just going to ramp up. And you know, I was just literally on a call. Well, actually, my wife was on a call last night with a brother that we've known for a very long time, and even in our days of Christianity, actually before we knew him, I think we met him probably about 2005, 2006. And even before that, we had another brother who was speaking to him. This is while we were in Christianity, mind you. We're speaking to him about, you know, keeping the laws, that the laws are not done away with. And, you know, he's been literally kicking against the pricks since then. Now, since that time, 2016, the Most High awakens my wife and I, and this brother knows or has been aware that he is Israel. You know what I mean? He's a Jamaican brother, and he's the one that actually told me. He said, "Look, you know, that's what the roster's all about. You know, we know we're the people, but yet he refuses to walk in that because I believe he's afraid of, you know, the blowback. You know what I mean? The blowback that it comes with, you know, because he continues to tell me and my wife, you know, I love how you two are one in this thing. You know what I mean? You got there's no contention between you two with your belief. It's like no, we both believe. Matter of fact, it was my wife that was awake first and pulled me in. But you know, I'm saying all that to say, you know, there's so many of our people that are just kind of, you know, pushing back on this thing, not wanting the spirit to you know, and you know, to change them or to give them revelation, or they're just afraid of the blowback. You know what I mean? Because the scriptures do say those that name the name of Hamashiach shall suffer persecution. Mm-hmm. Right? So we believe that in Christianity. It's even more so now once you come into this truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you know, a lot of our people, and you know, we think some of them don't know the truth, but a lot of them I'm finding out really do know this truth, but they don't want the blowback. So their thing is, I'm going to continue to do me. You know, they're not willing to you know, do the things that are going to be more uplifting to our people and things like that or whatever. Everybody's still self-centered. Everybody wants to do them. You know,
well, I mean,
so
ultimately,
it's really.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, so you know, and you know, it is trouble. You know, it is troublesome. You know, like I know, you know, we hear a lot about and we talk a lot about, you know, the churches and what the churches are not doing and things like that or whatever. And you know, I'm always like, you know, why are we even expecting the churches to do anything? You know, we are, you know what I mean? Why are we expecting the church to do anything? You know, I mean, we came out of the church. They were teaching lies then. What makes us think that they're going to, you know, change that up now? You know, it's the awakening. It's the spirit that's drawing us away from that. You know, and we're trying to, you know, hopefully drop a seed or water that seed to them. So, I mean, just like Brother Lavender said, I mean, in this time right now, it's basically just like the scriptures say, fearing the Most High, keeping His commandments, because what's taking place in the world is, you know, the world wants to contradict what's in the Word.
No doubt.
You know, these top people, they know, these top people, they know who we are. And it's just like, you know, you have that scripture, what is it, Judith, I think chapter 5 or whatever, where, you know, they knew who we were. They said, you know what, you know, if these people, if they're close to their God, you can't mess with them. You know. But once they start sinning, once you start putting these things in place and, you know, and take them away from the, you know, and they move away from their God, you know, that's when that's when we can take advantage and this and that, whatever. So that's been this whole thing, you know, them trying to manipulate our people to contradict the things of the Most High, to move us away from the Most High so that they can come in and take advantage. And, you know, and that's been their whole ploy all along. So, I mean, unless we're, you know, really just allowing ourselves to wake up and walk in that spirit and you know, and be that light and salt to our families and to our friends and to all those that we come in contact with, you know, I don't know.
But that's the thing, being the light and the salt, and you know, like Terry said, understanding that, you know, it'll produce a level of patience and compassion and love that we need to maintain during this time while our people are kicking against the pricks. You understand what I'm saying? Because now we can't afford to walk away. This is where, you know,
absolutely.
I think most of us have diagnosed, you know, the problem. But what do you do after you diagnose the problem?
The problem,
you know, you got to bring forth the remedy.
Steps, the theory, remedy, right?
You know, you got to bring forth the remedy. So you know, that's what I want ultimately, you know, to come from, you know, when we meet is can we get a remedy? You know what I mean? One of the remedies is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Another remedy is walking in love and making sure that we remain patient. You know, you know, because the Most High, I know for a fact the Most High was patient with me.
Lord knows.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
He had a rack of patience with me. So being able to bring a level of balance, you know, to this thing so that we can be productive is where we at. And I know Nick gonna talk about some things. Like I said, I want some tangible, I want some real things that we can do, you know, not only to prepare and protect ourselves, but also to share with others. I don't care if we got to put stuff on pamphlets or paper or pieces of paper and give it to people in their hands, and, you know, just be like, look, if you want to live or you want to survive, you know what's to come. Here goes some things that you can do to get started. You know what I'm saying?
And not to cut you off, I mean, I actually, this right here is beautiful. You know what I mean? This right here is actually beautiful. You know, we're different assemblies. We've awakened, we're all Israel. We're different assemblies, but coming together, talking working things out, things like that, because, you know, just like the scriptures say, you know, they will know that we love him by the love we have for one another.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, and more people see that, because, you know, a lot of people are seeing us, you know, arguing and bickering and fighting over the name and over this and over that and what you believe this and you believe that, and there's really no coming together. So this right here, this, you know, this coming together and just, you know, just talking and, you know, just dwelling amongst each other, I believe is a great help as well.
That's a good point, because you figure when that centurion come knocking on your door, he ain't gonna care what name you calling on.
It's not.
Hey, look, I don't want to cuss, but he want that. He want that. You know what? He want that backside.
Bring it here.
You can be. Hey, look, you can be speaking straight Phoenician Hebrew, and that bop gun, that bop gun that he got in his hands. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He ain't. They not gonna care. You know what I'm saying? And that's what ultimately that's why we gotta find that 80%. You know, from within to agree on. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Deke, you've been quiet. Sam, you've been quiet. What's up? Where you at, Deke?
I know. Back when you was talking about the kids earlier, one thing I want to chime in about that is like last year, one thing me and my brother then was talking about doing, because I know y'all was just talking about getting out into the communities, doing different things with the kids and trying to bring them in. Me and my brothers then was talking about, after we went to a conference in Jacksonville last year, we said we need to spend the next year being more involved, getting in touch with, you know what I'm saying, our different brothers in different areas or whatnot, being more active with that, just meeting more brews, you know what I'm saying, and linking up during that way. I think we were talking about, I guess, amongst ourselves being more active and getting out, going to different, anytime a conference was close by or anytime somebody was hosting a program, trying to be a part of that. I think what we can do in reference to the kids is all of us as brews now that have children push toward getting them together more often or whatnot. Them being able, you know, we already aware that they're going to be living a different lifestyle than the average kid at school. Some things that they do, the kids at school ain't going to do, and some things that the kids at school do, they're not allowed to do.
Right,
so I think putting those kids around kids that are living like them can be very beneficial as well. And, you know, that alone can cut out some of the things that's going to come along with peer pressure or whatnot, because if you're around kids that have been raised in the same fashion that you are, you know, that's going to alleviate a whole lot of stresses in itself. So I think that us linking our children are together more, just like we were talking about doing with other adults or other men, I think that'll work out just as well.
I appreciate that, Nick. I'm actually typing that into my notes here, gathering our children together. You know, just to have fun and celebrate, man. And
yeah.
If that entails a moon bounce, you know what I'm saying? Like a game truck, you know what I'm saying? Like just bringing them together, you know, in a way where they can build camaraderie amongst each other, because they are the next generation. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something that we know we can do without a shadow of a doubt. That's almost what I would call a short-term goal. And that's, you know, shout out to my wife. That's one of the things that she's been talking about with the women, because she do her girl chats on Wednesday nights. And what they've been talking about is understanding short-term, midterm, and long-term goals. And whatever the ladies have going on or whatever they want to do, you know, categorizing those things, whether it be short-term or long-term, or whether it be somewhere down the road in the middle. They working on business plans and all that kind of stuff like that. So, you know, shout out to our daughters of Zion who are also, you know, taking on the opportunity to use this platform that we have to be productive. But bringing that's what I'm talking about, a tangible example of something that we can do, whether it be right now, whether it be 6 months from now, or whether it be, you know, 2 years from now. That is a tangible example as to one thing that we can do right here, right now. With that being said, I want to hear from Sam. I want to hear from Deke. Then I'm gonna go to Terry, and then I want to talk a little bit about health and wellness as we move forward. Before I let you guys go. Let's start with Deke.
Yeah, I think he muted. Oh, he unmuted now.
I think one thing we can look into, I know a lot of times, you know, you hear it over the years among us, you know, we need to support black business. And then in a lot of cases, when you do that, you're dealing with wicked people. So either A, you try to support it, and then you either get cheated, or you know something. You're not in a position to support us because the Bible says, "Wealth gotten by vanity shall diminish." So we're wasting our money trying to support our wicked people in their business. So I think a way to remedy that, to keep the money between us, to, you know, supporting each other, is support Israelite business. That keeps it, that way you don't have to rely on the government, Esau, because I want your stuff to get shut down. Rely on Esau.
You know, they shut it down quick, man.
You don't have to rely on Esau. You don't have to rely on Amalek, but anything. If we're supporting, and it didn't have to be just between Judah. Support all 12 Israelite, you know, businesses. That way, it'll grow phenomenally. Because if we're supporting it, we all follow the law. It's gonna grow exponentially. We don't have to worry about anything.
No doubt.
We have to rely on the other nations for nothing.
Yeah, that's a good point. I know, you know, because one of the ladies that come on the Zoom girl chat with Rhonda, she's making you know, masks and everything like that. And you know, we know at the end of the day, man, it is what it is, and some people gonna wear them and some people not. But in some areas and some places, it's mandatory. You know what I mean? So while, you know,
Yeah, it is mandatory.
While that is going on, and this person has the gift, you know, to make those things by hand, you know, that's an opportunity to support, you know, a daughter of Zion right there. You know what I mean? Right. So that's a good point, D. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you do have some people, man, who are paid off and they part of the machine, you know, no matter what race or what ethnicity they are, and they're going to use that money, you know, unrighteously. So, you know, even if we can narrow it down some more, you know, to where we can support those families and those people around us who we know are going to act righteously with what they've been given and what they've earned, I think also that will definitely be a blessing, you know, to us all. So I appreciate that. I put that note down. Sam, you got anything?
I just want to kind of piggyback off of what Jay just said, you know, kind of about supporting businesses. I mean, how do we kind of separate it though? How do we know for sure? You know what I'm saying? That people are actually about what they're saying and making sure that we ain't supporting the wicked people like you would say.
Right. I think personally, to be honest with you, we can't get too caught up in that. If you understand where I'm coming from, we can't get too caught up in that to the point where we feeling trapped. You know what I'm saying? Like we going to the opposite extreme to where it's like we don't know where we're gonna spend our money and we can't get our needs met because we trying to figure out, you know, how somebody is using the money, right? I mean, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. You got you know, wicked pastors out here who are getting tithes every week, you know, and they are misappropriating their funds, but people are still giving their tithes. You know what I'm saying?
Still giving their tithes.
So the thing is, I use that as an example to say that we can't necessarily we can't necessarily always worry about what the unrighteous are doing. You know, so much so to the point where we put ourselves in bondage, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know,
just more about what we doing it for.
So what, you know, what I'm saying, I mean, everybody's point is valid, but what I'm saying is like Deke said, you know, and we have people right around us that have businesses. So those businesses that we can support now in the short term, let's support those businesses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we don't have an Israelite grocery store.
No.
Yeah.
Not yet.
We don't
Not
have
yet.
an Israelite grocery
This
store.
man working on it though.
You know,
This man working on it.
so am I not gonna go to Harris Teeter, or am I not gonna go, you know, to a black owned market, that's where these people are growing their food and trying to help their people? You know, am I not gonna go eat and get and do what I gotta do because I'm overly concerned with that? It's a valid concern, and I think that's something that we need to consider. But the point that I'm trying to make is we don't get overly concerned about one thing or one situation to the point where, you know, now we're suffering if we don't have to.
Right. Yeah, and that's ministry in itself, though. Think about it.
Yeah.
If we're coming into stores and we're buying our groceries there, we're buying our supplies there, that's an opportunity to minister to our people in itself. When you're getting to know them, let you know that you support them. I support you for who you are, not necessarily what you're doing for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I love you for who you are, not necessarily because you're doing what I want you to do. And that's a way you can, you know, the door can open. You can crack that ice. You know what I'm saying? You can open that door can open up.
Yeah.
For us to actually have another conversation. Like you say, let's start a conversation.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely. Because that conversation will spark motivation, and then now we'll be more mindful, Deke and Sam, and we'll be looking for those businesses, or we'll be seeking out those places that we can support. So, you know, I think by all means, both of your points are extremely valid, and you know, I will move in that direction even more. You know, we look at Hamashiach, we look at our Savior. You know, even he sat and ate and drank with the people. You know what I mean? That the Pharisees, you know, was like, what you doing around them? Why you around them? You know what I mean? You know, but he had a mission, he had a purpose, and as long as we maintain our purpose, again, like I said, man, we are carriers of the presence.
That's right.
So that makes us thermostats, which means wherever we go, excuse me, wherever we you know, they talk about climate change from a political and evil perspective. We the real climate change. You know what I'm saying?
Climate change.
We the real climate change, and as long as you are walking in what you know by the Spirit of the Most High, everything changes when you come around. You understand what I'm saying? People will know you by the Spirit. You feel me? I mean, think about when Yeshaya got off the boat and he seen those and the demons, they noticed him before he even said something to them.
Said anything.
You feel me? Before he even said something to them or even looked their way, right? They turned to him and was like, oh, whoa, they already knew who he was.
We ain't want no problems. Man.
And they ain't want no problem. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, their posture changed because of who he was.
Right.
And so that's what I wanted to let you guys know. When you walk in the Spirit of the Most High, the climate will change wherever you go. And then it gives you an opportunity, like Elder Levander said, to minister and be a witness even to those people that look like us, but they might not be living like us. You feel me?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Terry, what you got, my brother?
Definitely, man. I think all points are valid. Every point has a perspective, and that's why I just like to listen, man, because it's good points of view to be able to hear other sides of the picture. Like, for instance, even with Sam and there was also Levander made a point. Everybody made a point.
Yeah.
And they were good points. And the thing with I know if I may address where Levander went with the Seventh-day Adventists, it's true indeed. And those men that started it, they were Baptists. They were from different denominations. Now the thing what that got them all to come together was that they saw something happen. In 1844, the stars fell from the sky. Now that's related to Matthew's 24. And so they once they saw that happen, remember we were talking about prophecy. When prophecy was in front of them, their faces, it sparked something. Matter of fact, there's a thing called the spiritual revolution or something like that. I don't have my notes in front of me, but I'm only going off what I can remember. But so what happened is that they started really preaching. They all came together. Now, what was given was something that God gave to them, and it sparked this new change in the Christian belief system. Now, one of the things that as I was sitting on that, and as we go when you were saying, who's the other guy? I can't see everybody on the screen. What John said. I'm sorry. How do I say your name, brother? Myron.
Yeah, Myron.
Myron. It's what's going on is that at the end of the day, there's something being portrayed in front of us, and if we're not paying attention, what Father wants to do is bring us back to that. He wants us to start making. He wants us to really start taking time with Him, for He is the one that knows what's going to go on. We can speculate, we can go by our own thoughts, but at the end of the day, He has the answers. So as I was thinking about it, if I may, I want to read a passage in 1 Corinthians. And anybody who has their Bible, please grab hold of it, or however you read your word. But and Pastor told me that I had 15 minutes, so I hope I have a few more minutes to read. So,
yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you for sure.
I'm good. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm proper, brother.
I'm sorry. Where are we going?
1 Corinthians, and we're going to go to the 12th chapter. And the first verse. From whatever your perspective you're reading, I'm reading from the World Messianic Bible. So it's going to correlate with the New King James Version. It's going to correlate with the King James Version. You'll just see that they use some of the original names. Right? Verse 1. Now concerning spiritual things, brothers, I don't want you to be ignorant. You know that when you were heathen, you were led away to those mute idols, however you might be led. Therefore, I make known to you that no man speaking by God's Spirit says Yeshua is accursed. No one can say Yeshua is Lord but by the Holy Spirit. Now, Pastor, you touched on Holy Spirit. What do we have to do? He said, not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord. Verse 4. Now, there are various kinds of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are various kinds of service, in the same Lord. There are various kinds of workings, but the same God who works all things in all. But to each one is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the profit of all. For to one is given through the Spirit the word of wisdom, and to another the word of knowledge, according to the same Spirit. To another faith by the same Spirit, and to another gifts of healings by the same Spirit, and to another working of miracles, and to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another different kinds of languages, to another the interpretation of languages. But the one and the same Spirit produces all of these, distributing to each one separately as he desires. For as the body is one, it has many members, and all the members of the body, being many, are one body. So also is Messiah. For in one Spirit we were all immersed into one body, whether Jews or Greeks, whether bond or free, and we're all given to drink into one Spirit. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot would say, because I am not the hand, I'm not part of the body, it is not therefore not part of the body. If the ear would say, because I'm not the eye, I'm not part of the body, it's not therefore not part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the hearing be? And if the whole were hearing, where would the smelling be? But now God has set the members, each one of them, in the body just as he desired. If they were all one member, where would the body be? But now they are many members, but one body. The eye can't tell the hand, I have no need for you, or again the head to the feet. I'm sorry, guys. I have no need for you. No, much rather those members of the body which seem to be weaker are necessary. Those parts of the body which we think to be less honorable, on those we bestow more abundant honor. And our presentable parts have more abundant modesty, while our presentable parts have no much need. But God composed the body together, giving more abundant honor to the inferior part, that there should be no division in the body, but that the members should have the same care for one another. When one member suffers, all the members suffer with it. When one member is honored, all the members rejoice with it. Now you are the body of Messiah and members individually. God has set some in the assembly, first emissaries, second prophets, third teachers, then miracle workers, then gifts of healings, helps, governments, and various kinds of languages. Are all emissaries? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all miracle workers? You all have the gifts of healings? You all speak the various languages? You all interpret? But earnestly desire the best gifts. Moreover, I show you a most excellent way to you. Should I go on? I have a few more verses.
Yeah, you got I'll give it like 3 minutes.
Yes, sir. 13 verse 1. If I speak with the languages of men and angels, but don't have love, I have become sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and know all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but don't have love, I am nothing. If I give away all my goods to feed the poor, and if I give my body to be burned, but don't have love, it profits me nothing. Love is patient and is kind. Love doesn't envy. Love doesn't brag. It's not proud, doesn't behave itself inappropriately, doesn't seek its own way, is not provoked, takes no account of evil, doesn't rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices with the truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will be done away with. Where there are various languages, they will cease. Where there is knowledge, it will be done away with. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when that which is complete has come, then that which is partial will be done away with. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I felt as a child. I thought as a child. Now that I have become a man, I have put away those things. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I will know fully, even as I was also fully known. But now faith, hope, and love remain. These three, greater things is love.
These three, all of this is love. So can everybody agree on that? Can I get a head nod that we can agree on the scripture that was written? Terry, my brother, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
All praises
Absolutely.
to the Most High, man. All praises to the Most High. As we get ready to close out and narrow down, I did want to quickly touch on the health and wellness part, because I think that's another tangible way, for us to share some information that could be helpful to us as well as our families. Now, Nick, did you want to speak on that real quick?
Yeah, I can speak on a few things. Yeah, definitely.
Appreciate it. Go ahead.
Yeah, one thing that we can do as far as the tangible is just number one is just getting more active. And what I don't want y'all to misunderstand is getting active to equate that to going to run 3 miles tomorrow.
Right.
That just ain't the case. If the last time you heard smile was in PE in high school, it's just not going to happen tomorrow. and having unrealistic goals sometimes is what keep people who are genuinely wanting to be healthier or lose weight, because that's what keeps that becomes their roadblock or whatnot. So anytime I talk to people, you know, I tell them that getting active is just doing more than what you used to do. So if you got up every day and you sit on the couch and you just ate and you watch TV, going for a walk is being more active, because that's something that you wasn't doing, you know what I'm saying, prior to your health journey and whatnot. And at the end of the day, the equation of weight loss is going to be burning more calories than you taking in. So taking any step to be more active is you inadvertently burning more calories or whatnot. So it's going to have to be a offsetting thing at some point, but just getting started, getting more active is simply the best information or suggestion I would give to anybody. And getting more active will be something as along the lines of, if you're still working right now, taking the stairs up instead of the elevator.
Right.
You know what I mean? Walking to the mailbox instead of waiting until you got to go somewhere to drive by the mailbox. You know, and this stuff might sound minute, but you are doing more than you did previously. You know what I mean? You get more, that all this equates to being more active. I think taking baby steps and setting different goals or whatnot. If you can't run that mile, walk the mile, you know, and gradually build up to being able to run that mile. Going for a walk, doing things like as far as foods, coming up with different alternatives or whatnot, or implementing healthy alternatives for lunch. Instead of that combo at McDonald's, you can fix a salad. You know, you're still going to have your lunch, you're still going to eat, because some people think just not eating at all, that's actually unhealthy in itself.
Hold on, why y'all so quiet, man?
Your metabolism.
Why y'all quiet? He said eat a salad.
Eat a salad.
Oh no! Look.
Hey, look, don't get quiet now.
I'm a health nut. So I agree with everything you're saying, man.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you're saying.
And I think a lot of times, man, people, like I said, who generally want to do better, be healthier, get scared off by looking at the next person and seeing what they can do and not being able to do that. Setting your own personal goals, I think, is a really important thing with tackling this whole health thing. Like I said, everybody can't go do the 3-mile run or whatever. You can do the walking.
Right.
If you're a person who likes to cook, looking up alternative recipes of things that you ain't really cooking. Cutting back on fat, cutting back on fast food.
Yeah.
That fast food is definitely an enemy to everybody.
But look, I mean, that's a good point you made, because I was gonna say, you know, what about those of us who are skinny, or what about those of us who are not, you know, as heavy as the next man? But it don't mean that you not. It don't mean that you healthy. Yeah. It don't mean, because we got some skinny dudes out here having heart attacks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And dying from, you know, liver failure and kidney failure and heart failure, you know, and all that kind of stuff like that. So on the back end, you talking about, you know, changing, you know, the way you eat or looking for alternatives. I think that would be helpful to a brother like me.
Yeah, and reading it and being informed is something that I would say too. I remember when I first got out of college and got my first apartment. I went home. You know, I spent like that summer or whatever. I think it was over one of our breaks or something before I moved into my apartment. Learning how to cook meals. I never did any cooking. I was in the kitchen with my mom and dad at home, maybe 4 weeks or whatever, learning how to cook the meals that I like. So my mistake was when I moved in, I was only cooking everything that I liked. So you talking about fried chicken. Back when I was eating pork, fried pork chops, French fries, and just not knowing any better, I was doing this. I thought, hey, I'm cooking what I like. I thought I was doing something. man, you know, like I said, this is around the time when I'm calling myself an adult, got my own apartment. So, hey, man, let me go get these checkups and the doctors once a year like supposed to. How old are you when you graduate? What, 21, 22?
Yeah, 22.
High cholesterol at 22. So just being informed, like I wasn't informed at the time. I thought, you know, some people think if it tastes good, it's good for you, and that just ain't the case. That just ain't the case, man. And that was something that I had to battle with, just learning, you know, that baked chicken is just as good as that fried chicken. You know, you might like, you know, don't away with that grease or whatnot. Stand. If we get back to saying getting active ain't always just exercise. We quarantine right now. Some of y'all boys that got houses, you can get out there and do that yard work.
Yeah.
That's right.
So being active and making sure that we are mindful of our diet. Is two tangible benefits that I think all of us can look into and begin to make a change right away. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Because even within the law, even within the dietary law, I think the Most High gives us wisdom, in a sense that just because you're not eating unclean foods, it doesn't necessarily mean that the clean foods you are eating are still beneficial to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where the wisdom and that's where the Holy Spirit comes in. And you know, when you getting ready to go grab that Kit Kat when you should be grabbing a piece of fruit.
Yeah. It'll balance out.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
So, you know, as men who believe in the Bible and believe in the word, whether you want to call it the law or whether you want to call it scripture or whatever the case may be, still within the law, you know, we have to be able to define that individually and ask Holy Spirit to lead us even on how we deal with that situation.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
Yes,
Definitely.
No doubt about it. So I wanted to present to you guys, before I let you go, I appreciate your time. Anybody, I went way over, y'all, but you know, so anybody that has to go, I completely understand. I'm sorry for keeping you this long, but nevertheless, I appreciate the fellowship. I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me.
Hey, Pastor, if I can say real quick, my battery's about to die, so if I chop out, it's not because I left early. It's the battery. I'm looking for my extension.
Hey, Terry, I love you, man.
I love you guys, man. I love you guys. I love all of you.
Appreciate you, my brother. So if his joint started we know what time it is.
Hey, yes, sir.
We know what time it is. So I'm really excited about, you know, some of the entrepreneurship and things that's going on the lady side that's coming out of the girl chats with Pastor Rhonda and the ladies. One of the things, I'm sure most of you may already know about it, but one of the things that helped me when I was under the weather, and it's still helping me as a preventative and adding to my health, is elderberry syrup. Everybody familiar with elderberry?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and my wife actually makes some.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So
my wife actually makes some, and you know, we also have another brew too. After you finish, I can tell you, I can give it to you.
Yeah, we got a better day plug for that too.
Hey, who is that talking right now?
That was Myron that said that before.
Okay.
Myron.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My wife makes some elderberry, and I also make another tonic as well from apple cider vinegar, lemon, you know, organic lemon juice, organic honey, and ginger juice as well. And it's basically a natural antibiotic and also alkalines your body. So, you know, it can get rid of some stuff. And you only drink a little bit of it a day.
No doubt.
It works.
So So Myron, do me a favor and email that to me, okay? If you mind emailing that recipe to me?
Most definitely.
Okay, I'll make sure I share that.
Most definitely.
And I'll make sure I participate in that as well. As far as this elderberry syrup is concerned, we got two sources. We got Myron's wife, and we also have one of the sisters with Better Day, April, who does elderberry syrup as well. If you're interested, or anybody is interested, then holler at me or holler at Elder Lavanda, and I think you'll be able to get what you need. But it's something that we should have on hand at all times. It helps with your respiratory system, clearing it out, mucus, all of those things like that. It really adds, to all of the things that Nick was talking about. Another thing that I want to finish with is, if you guys can see this, it's called J. Crow's, and I ordered this online. It is iodine. This is 2%, but I recommend maybe you guys even get to 5%. And all we've been doing is taking a little bit of this right here and putting it on our wrist, and we'll rub it together. And what it does is it acts as a major detox agent. It helps to detoxify the body and get rid of all of those impurities in your body. Whether it be through using the restroom, whether it be through anything else. But this is something that I've started this week, and so I've already begun to see and feel better, by using this iodine right here. One of the other benefits that it has, if any of you guys have seen the Shabbat shout out that I did when I was talking about this radiation situation, especially with these 5G towers going up, with the prediction that it is going to emit high-level radiation. This right here will help to strengthen your thyroid. Whether you be male or female, your thyroid is important because it absorbs radiation, and then it will come out in the form of urine, okay? Those that may have an underactive thyroid, whether it be because of asthma or whether it be because of a pre-existing condition, this right here will help to modify and strengthen your thyroid, okay? So that if it is underactive, it will restore, as you diligently take it properly, it will help to restore your thyroid, so that when they do begin to release this 5G and this radiation into the airways, this is another way that we can fight against the powers that be, because the Most High made our bodies perfect. He made them to work how they should work, and so that iodine is going to be a help. The elderberry syrup is going to be of help. The concoction or the recipe that Myron just told us about is going to help. Following the dietary laws is going to help. Even within the dietary laws, making sure that you hear Holy Spirit on what you pick up and what you eat on a daily basis, whether it be clean, is going to be helpful. Another thing that, as this radiation is released into the air, that I'm going to ask you guys to look into is putting certain kind of plants in your windows, such as rubber plants or spider plants. You can Google it, plants that absorb radiation.
Yeah.
You can buy those plants already planted from a Lowe's or Home Depot. You can do it yourself if you got a garden or you got some soil around your house. These are all, again, tangible opportunities and ways for us to use the knowledge that the Most High has given us, to use the ingredients and the nutrients and the things that He's given us to continue to protect ourselves, regardless of what any situations or circumstances may be. So I'll make sure that I, continue to put that out there and continue to share with you guys, as well as I urge you guys to continue to share with your family and with your friends and to anybody that has an ear to hear.
Wait,
yes.
Pastor, what's the name of that plant that you're saying that absorbs radiation?
One of them is called a rubber plant. Another one is called a spider plant. You can even put a cactus plant, you know, in your window. A cactus plant will work just fine as well. But there are probably like 5 to 7 other kinds of plants that you can purchase for little to nothing, and it should assist in this particular agenda that's getting ready to come forth.
And also, I wanted to add, we know a lot of the products we use, the chemicals and things like that in them. We could also, I know time is a thing, but if we could also really, start making our own lotions, and I know for myself, I make lotion for my family, lotion, and I make my own lotion and my own toothpaste.
Hold on, man. You didn't tell me you had 10 jobs.
I need that toothpaste, man. I need that toothpaste.
Yeah, just knowing all the stuff that's in these things, man. The fluoride in the toothpaste and all these chemicals and things like that, or whatever. And it was just, I was just compelled. The spirit just told me, you know what? Just get a big thing of coconut oil and some essential oil and things like that, and start making some of that stuff yourself. You know what I mean? It eliminates all those chemicals and all those things. Because people out here wondering why got tumors and cancers and all this other stuff. It's all these mixture of chemicals and all those things that that are in these products. So it's nothing for just to spend like 20-30 minutes just mixing that stuff up yourself, put it in a container, and and you have it.
No, sir.
Keep this temple healthy, man.
That's right.
Myra,
we only get one.
Myra, where
That's
you
right.
from?
That's right. Originally?
No, like where you live at now.
Yes. I'm in Cary.
Oh, North Carolina. Okay, you're in North Carolina. Okay, cool. Okay. Because
Yeah, I'm in North Carolina. Yeah.
I actually use a natural. I use a natural deodorant, and I was looking for a natural toothpaste and whatnot. So yeah, we definitely need to link about that.
Hey Nick, he be at 7 days. He be coming through 7 days.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, man, I'm tripping. I guess my screen fuzzy or something. I already know.
Hey, Myron, can I that toothpaste? You saying that you make your own toothpaste?
Yes. Yeah. Just coconut oil, a little bit of baking soda, some peroxide, and some stevia for to sweeten it a little bit.
Okay.
And some it's a cinnamon. It's a natural cinnamon flavor. You put it in there, mix it all up. Just whip it up and put it in a canister. Take a spoon and put it on your toothbrush, and that's it. A little mineral salt, and what it does, it actually is natural, but it cleans, but it also heals decay as well.
Okay.
So you may have some decay in your mouth. It actually starts healing decay.
So in other words, it heals dragon breath.
Oh, well, yeah. As long as you brushing your tongue as well. Yeah.
Hey, look! I told y'all we in the barbershop, man. I know it got a little. I know it got a little,
No doubt. But it does. It heals decay. It heals decay. So every time we go, every time we do go to the dentist, they're always like, wow, what are you guys using? I'm like, hey, we make this stuff ourselves. He's like, well, keep doing what you're doing, because no one has holes in their teeth.
Right. No, man, I appreciate that, and that's something that as long as you come on, you know what I'm saying. Like as we get new people on, I'll continue to have you guys share those kinds of things like that, because it can't be repeated enough. You know what I'm saying? Like this word that we live in, and this word that we live in, it can't be repeated enough. So, so I definitely appreciate that. Before I turn it over to Lavanda, is there anything else that anybody that is still on, want to say? Because I know for a second there, your brains was ticking a little bit faster than normal, but again, like I said, this is the barbershop, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, everybody's welcome in the barbershop, and y'all already know what time it is. I don't even really think, you know, I got to say anything more than that at this moment, right?
Done.
So yeah, I'm gonna go to Deke. I'm gonna go to Sam. I'm gonna go to Myron. I'm gonna go to Nick, and I'm gonna have Lavanda take as much time as you want or you need to address anything that was said tonight.
To piggyback off what Nick said, and actually me and Nick had talked about this one time before at the beach. Good thing too, we should probably, we should go back to the old way of canning vegetables.
Yeah.
You know, we need to start back doing that. And with that also, you know, like he was saying, the information or the wisdom about these things, we need to look into and really purchase vegetables in their season. Because you can go to Walmart and get any vegetable you want, whatever you want. You don't know when they grew that vegetable. Some guy in a lab coat could have grew that in a building.
Right.
I mean, you've seen countless YouTube videos of people trying to burn lettuce with a lighter and can't do it because it's not real. So I think we should you know, try our best too, because I know it's more expensive, but try our best to buy more organic vegetables in their season when it's time for them to grow and harvest.
Perfect.
I agree. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
And I just want to say all praise to the Most High, man, just for being here in fellowship with the brethren. You know what I'm saying? Taking it in from all different aspects. But Kenny, when you were talking about that elderberry shirt, was you talking about doing that when you just like sick or something, or is that like an everyday process where you taking that?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day, my brother.
People take elderberry every day, B.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
With that camera.
Every day.
This is to fortify that's to fortify your immune system, man.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's what it's doing, just fortifying your immune system.
Anything that you can do for your immune system, do it every day.
How much do y'all take of it?
So I can't speak for anybody else, but I know personally, you know, when you buy medicine like NyQuil and they get those you get them cups that come along with it, little tiny cups.
Yeah.
I held on to the cup.
Yeah.
And I just pour, like, I fill it up. I fill that little cup up. You know what I'm saying? And I take that joint like I used to take tequila.
Hey, and Sam. Sam, and don't be like me. I actually like how it tastes. I actually like how the elderberry syrup tastes. So don't be like me.
Right.
Man, you can put that joint on some pancakes.
I'm trying to tell you, man. This ain't no medicine, right?
Spice up that
I'm gonna want that sugar anyway. Can you rock with the sugar?
Exactly right.
That's why I spice that
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
My brother Myron, go ahead on and give me your last words, my brother.
Nah, this is blessed, man. You know, it's blessed, and like I said, this is, you know, exactly what we should be doing as a people. You know what I mean? Just coming together, you know, just coming together and working to see what it is we can do to build ourselves up as a people. You know, for such a time as this, and also preparing ourselves, you know, for what's to come, things like that. So I appreciate everybody on this line, man. Thank the Most High for things like this, because like I said, you know, just being in quarantine and everything happening, just want to keep ourselves on you know, and keep ourselves in focus, you know, if you will. Keep ourselves surrounded with, you know, with family, but also in the Word and around our people, you know. And then I was always saying, just because we're in quarantine don't mean we can't gather. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Most High has allowed for technology to, you know, bring us together like this, we always talk about even in Shabbat, I'm hopping from one assembly to the next, just you know what I'm saying? Just keeping myself in tune, man. And just everyone taking a piece of this and going to their respective families and assemblies and sharing the knowledge that we're bringing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
Well, it's definitely an honor to have you on, and
appreciate
I appreciate every time you open up your mouth, brother. I appreciate the wisdom and the love that comes through. So I look forward to having you on as often as possible.
It,
For sure.
Most definitely. Oh, and another thing, you off that was it the J. Crow?
Yes, sir.
Another thing also, another natural antibiotic is oregano oil.
Oregano oil.
Oregano oil, 100% oregano oil. So yes, natural antibiotics. Not the best tasting, but trust me, it works. I mean, you can have a sore throat. Take about 7 drops of that stuff, and it's gone.
100% oregano oil.
Oregano oil. Yeah,
gotcha.
You can buy that. Yeah, right on Amazon or Vitamin Shop. They have it. So oregano oil. So that's the stuff right there.
The water. It's on you, Nick.
Hey man, I ain't got much to say. Just I'm gonna keep on working each week, trying to bring somebody different onto the call. Just keep on bringing people onto the call. Watch this thing grow. Watching these men unite, bouncing ideas off each other, and that's the only way we're gonna make something happen.
All praise to the Most High, man. I appreciate you, and
No praise.
appreciate all of y'all. Just understand this is this 2 things that many men lack. 2 things that many men lack is transparency and accountability. And this is a platform for both.
Absolutely.
In order for us to grow, we're gonna have to hold each other accountable, and we're gonna have to be transparent, whether it be on Zoom or whether it be to one of your brothers. This serves as an opportunity for you to bond with a brother as this thing grows and become accountability partners, because that's the only way we're gonna get better.
That's confirmation, boy. We just talked about that last night. Wow.
Yeah. Transparency and accountability is something that we struggle with. And I believe that if we can be as determined as it pertains to not eating pork, and we can take that same conviction about pork and we can add that to those areas of our lives that we may be weak, then we gonna be walking in some kind of perfection, y'all.
Yeah. That's right.
So
absolutely.
With that being said, again, if there's anybody that has to go, I completely understand, because I went way over. We talking about 2 hours right now, but I can't get off without allowing my brother to say whatever he got to say. But before we bounce, so before we close up the shop, it's on you, Levander.
I just want to say first, all praise to the Most High. And Ken, this is definitely the epitome of what you've been saying. The kingdom is within you. This is the epitome. I mean, look at all this stuff that's in the drop tonight, man. Like all this answers for everything, man, that we talk about. All these remedies and entrepreneur opportunities, different sides of the coin. I mean, this is the kingdom is in us, man. Like we really been the answer the whole time. Like the whole time. We just was underestimating ourselves and devaluing ourselves based on looking from the perspective of the Gentiles. And now we're looking at ourselves through the eyes of the Most High. We're seeing the kingdom has always been in us. We was always the answer to every problem that we ever needed. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. All praise to the Most High. But I'm just gonna leave you with this, man. Each night, each Thursday, I want to leave something that just kind of brings everything together for what we've been talking about throughout it. So I'm just gonna go to 1 Peter 3 and just lift up a few verses here and just bring everything home to what everybody talked about here today. 1 Peter 3. And we're gonna look at verse 8 through 12. Just real simple. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to 8 through 15. Just to sum it all up real quick. 1 Peter 3, verse 8. It says, finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another. Love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous, not rendering evil for evil, railing for railing, but contrariwise blessings, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that you should inherit a blessing. You know, this mindset that the Most High, that Amashak wants us to have, is going to be the mindset that's going to knock down walls, but at the same time, as it's knocking down walls over here, open up doors over here. You know what I'm saying? That's that two-edged sword, man, that kills and brings life at all at the same time. And it's the love. It's the love. And that's one of the things that was talked about all throughout the night was love. Loving each other, man. Really, truly loving each other, but more just in words, but in our deeds, man. It's going to knock down walls over here to get to our rest of our brothers, but it's going to open up the doors over here so we can get to these over here, man. It's crazy, right? But check this out. Verse 10 says, for he that will love life, he that will love life and see good days, he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil, and his lips that they shall speak no guile. Let him eschew evil and good and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it. Right? So we don't need to be focused on what we may disagree with. Let's focus on what we agree with. Let me not talk about what is wrong with this brother. Let me speak to what's right about that brother. You know what I'm saying? Right? Watch this. Verse 12. For the eyes of the Most High are over the righteous, and his ears are upon their prayers. But the face of the Most High is against them that do evil. So we know we need the Most High eyes towards us. We need him on us because we got the eyes of the Gentiles in Psalm 83. We got that on us everywhere around. But if we got the eyes of the righteous upon us, right? And who is he that will harm you if you be followers of that which is good? I'm going to read that again. Check this out. And who is he that will harm you if you be followers of that which is good? But if you suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. But sanctify the Lord Yah in your hearts, and be ready to give an answer to every man that asks you a reason of the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear.
Wow.
God?
Yes, sir. God.
You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
that solidifies everything that came out tonight, man. Everything, man.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You on mute, Ken, you on mute. I can hear you.
My bad. That part you said at the end, that you part is very important.
Mm-hmm.
You people gotta know who they are.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. It's very important, man. It's extremely.
I think this is the groundwork for a greater foundation that I think this is bigger than I think we're gonna look back on this next year this time and be amazed at what produces, what grows from this, what we're doing here today.
Got the growth.
I think we gotta be mindful to understand that this is way bigger than what we think. It's way gonna go way farther. And it's not gonna be based on necessary numbers, but it's gonna be based on the quality that's gonna come forth out of what's being said. I just really feel that, man. I really, really feel that. So I honor you, Pastor, for going forth with this vision. Because sometimes when the Most High gives you a vision, you can think of every reason not to do it. Every time when someone comes to say you're a part of this, you can think of every reason not to get on.
No doubt.
Right.
But
absolutely.
But you with that being said, you in the spirit, because one of the last things that I will consistently and constantly challenge everybody on is once this quarantine is over, are you still gonna come to the shop?
I'm gonna come with a cut this time.
Oh,
I'm gonna come
you know
with
what I'm saying?
a
Hey.
You know how it goes, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, some people just sitting in their homes. Some people sitting in their homes and can't wait for it to go back to the way it used to be. But like I said, for us, it's what people are hoping for. What used to be is actually on the opposite end, progress for us.
Right.
It's progress for Israel. It's never gonna be the same.
Never gonna be the same.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my thing is, as we grow, you know, the same commitment and the same time that we've made to come to the shop during this particular time is the same time that I hope we're willing to make, you know, once this quarantine is lifted, because I can't afford to go back, man. I'm only trying to move forward. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Deuce. Shout out to main man Deuce.
Young Deuce.
Look, man, I love y'all, man. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your patience and everything, and I got to go.
Yeah. No doubt.
Oh, hey, look, you got Rhonda over here in the corner, Sam. She heard me say Deuce, and now she poking her head around the corner talking about something. I want Deuce. Hey, look,
you right here, man.
Hey, look, but the shop is closed.
No doubt.
And it's funny that Deuce the only one with a fresh cut.
I know, right?
And Deuce the only one with a fresh cut.
Oh man.
Hey, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam, when we open the doors, man, you gotta bring the family, man. You gotta bring Deuce.
Hey man, no doubt, man. You already know we in the building, baby.
All praise to
Come
the
on,
Most
man.
High,
You my earpiece.
Exactly.
Go on, Deuce.
Hey, D, you messed me up with that vegetable thing, buying it in season.
Oh yeah.
Stay in the spirit.
Man, you messed me up with that jump. For real.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we miss that, because I know when I talk to my dad, you know, he was talking about they would buy certain vegetables certain time of the year, and they would buy a lot of it and then can it, so they could, if they wanted it, they could have it at whenever they wanted it at whatever time of the year, because you know stuff only grows. Certain vegetables only grow, supposed to grow at certain times of the year. So he would always say, you know, him and his grandma would buy a lot, or you know, what they could, and can it so they could have it all year. So that's what made me think of that.
That was the bomb, Joe. That's some serious information right there. I appreciate that.
Hey Jay, after we talked too, I found the video of how to do it. It ain't even really hard either.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for real?
We got to get on that too.
No doubt.
We definitely find out Myron is the plug on there though. Myron is the plug.
Man, like I said, man, send it to that Restoration Center Charlotte email, Myron.
He better be our Dr. Oz, yo.
Definitely.
Somebody be our Dr. Oz over here.
That especially that spike punch, that spike
Honestly,
punch he was talking about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know what? Honestly, not to be, you know, for a long time, but you know, it's a lot of things, man. You know, it's been through a lot, man. The Most High put that on my heart to just kind of really stay healthy, man. You know, I mean, a lot of people don't know, but I mean, I was paralyzed for almost 12 years. You know, just been through a lot, man. You know, so I had to, you know, there's a lot of things I had to do. You know, the Most High put in my heart to just look, you gotta remain healthy. You know, keep that body temple, and you know. I mean, I know I wasn't in the right frame of mind back then, but still, there's a lot of things that I've come through, and you know, a lot of things Most High put in front of me to be able to maintain. So, you know, now I know, you know, it's maintaining really for the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? But you know, this is what we do, man. Gotta keep ourselves, man. Gotta keep that body temple, bro.
All praise to the Most High. You was paralyzed for 12 years?
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, sir. From the head to toe.
All praises, man.
Yes, sir.
All praise.
All praise. All praise. That's why I look, bro. You know, so I feel what you're saying. There is no going back, man. You know what I mean? There is no going back, and you know that's just the tip of the iceberg. So, you know, Most High is awesome, man. Most High is awesome. So anything we can do for the body, man, is, you know, I'm humbled to do it.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate the Monday marathon and how you hang in there with us all, man. It's a blessing. You know, at some point, whenever you want to, and you join a prayer call, usually we end the prayer call with the last 10 minutes of, you know, bringing forth prayer requests or even testimonies and different things like that. So, whenever you feel is necessary, man, and you on the call, share that testimony, bro.
Absolutely.
I think that would help. I think that would help a lot of people. We always say at the end of the call, you know, that we overcome by the blood of Hamashiach and the word of our testimony. So that's
absolutely,
that's a powerful testimony, man. And I really want to hear. I want to hear the details.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. I mean, some of it. My wife is she's always on the call with me too, so she can give you a lot of it too, because you know, there's still some things are still foggy, but you know, most definitely, absolutely, I have no problem with that.
All praises, fellas. Well, I'm about to get ready to sign out, man. And again, every minute, every second was valued, and I appreciate y'all, man.
All right. All
Yes,
praise.
yes,
all right.
Until
we meet again, man. The shop is now closed, but it will reopen next Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel, man.
Same bat channel. Yes, sir. Shalom.
Shalom.
Oh, man.
Yes, sir. Shalom.
Yeah.
Shalom. Deuce. Shalom. Deuce. Hey, what ran off? Bird up. All right, y'all. Shalom, man.
Shalom, man.